Hi, I'm Jen from Crocker Nurseries, and today we are going to be making a holiday boxwood tree. We are selling the kits, so you can just come and grab a kit. You can call us, we'll have it ready for you. And then you can watch the tutorial video and I'll show you how to do it. So this is a full-size boxwood tree with 2 pounds of boxwood, 1 thing of Oasis that you will want to soak for probably a good 5 minutes in some water to be sure that it absorbs the water all the way through, and then you'll get a container dish to put it in. This is 2 pounds of boxwood, and I do soak it to kind of rehydrate it a little bit before I use it. That way it's nice and full and not dried out. And I'm going to make a smaller one, and you can see the difference once I'm done with this. So what I do is you stick it in, make sure it's really secure in the bottom, and then you'll see there are marks on here, so you can make it as big or as little as you want. So I'm just going to cut on that first line, and they have these little handy dots here to kind of guide you as well. And then you can see the Oasis is fully soaked. If it wasn't, you'd still see white, and you'd want to be sure that it was fully soaked. So next I'm going to grab some of the boxwood, and what I like to do is cut a bunch of pieces first, and I'll show you how to cut it because you want to make sure you get the best pieces for your boxwood, and they always want to have a fresh cut. So what I do is find kind of some long pieces because you're going to want to make your height first. So I try to get a few, really decent sized long pieces. But I'll go around and just do the whole thing. And then I'll just make snips here for smaller pieces that we'll use. And this is kind of, maybe we'll use it, maybe we won't. And then you can just get rid of that. And then I'll usually do about, a good ½ pound first to get going on. Okay, so I'm gonna shape this to a sort of very rough tree shape. So it'll just give me a little bit more guidance as to where the top is gonna be. So I just cut it on an angle so that you make a little kind of top there. And it's, like I said, very rough draft. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can shape it with the greens. So even that's pretty good. All right, so that's gonna be my top. See, it's a little dry there. So let me just dunk it real quick. All right, that should be good. All right, so I'm gonna find my leader, and usually for the leader you want a nice pointy top to start with and a fairly long piece. So what I do is find a really nice one, strip off the bottom leaves, and you already have a fresh cut on it, so you don't actually have to recut it again. So that's a pretty good top. As you go along, you may find that are a little bit better. So you can just stick that alongside it too. So this is kind of where you begin your shape, how tall you want it to be. And then you're going to go along the bottom and you're going to figure out how wide you want it to be. Now if you had a prettier container, you could just do it more upright so you would still see the container. But because we kind of want to hide this, you're going to put it in at an angle so it'll cover the base. And what I do is I find, okay, there's that side. Let me find one that's pretty similar. And I'll go to the other side. So there we go. We're gonna imagine that we have a triangle here. And then we're gonna go along and we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. And you're gonna wanna try to keep it. This one's really not that long, so let me find a little bit better one here. Again, stripping off the bottom leaves. I put that more at an angle. You don't want to poke too much like I just did there, but we'll hide it with the other ones so nobody will know. And then again on the other side, that one's a little short. It's kind of like a puzzle. You have to find the right pieces to kind of bring it all together. And then you're just going to go along filling out the bottom of your tree. Okay, so now we're going to start filling in. We've got our base, so now we're going to start filling in a little bit more. And again, you're just going to kind of imagine that you have a triangle. I'm going to add a little more height to this with some taller pieces, and then I'll slowly start coming down the side. And you may have to break your pieces up a little bit more as you go down, because you do kind of want to have a tree shape instead of more of a bush shape, but sometimes these all have a mind of their own. But I try to keep it a little more upright as I'm going down. By sticking it right there on the side. And then as you get lower, you're going to kind of tilt it down to meet up with the other ones, and hopefully achieving a nice triangle shape. And you kind of have to work with the branches a little bit. Some of them might be a little bit too long, so we'll just stick that guy in there. And then I'll just do the same thing on the other side and try to get a good triangle shape. Again, keeping them a little bit more upright as you're going down. Okay. All right, so we're just going to continue. I usually do the 4 sides. Again, keeping them a little upright as we go down. Trying to make a nice triangle shape. So now that we've finished filling in all of our empty spots with the boxwood, it's time to decorate. And this, I think, is the funnest part. What I'll do is kind of look for some empty little spots that could use a little something. And we do pick our berries just because it gives it a little bit more extension. And I'll just kind of go around into the different spots. And berries, pine cones are a really nice addition too. It keeps it a little natural looking. And we'll just kind of fill in, like I said, again, any little holes that you might have. And then you can pick whatever color balls you like. There's, we usually have them in silver, gold, red, blue, just to kind of brighten it up a little bit so it'll kind of shimmer at night. A lot of people like to use the fairy lights. We do sell these as well, and they run on batteries, and you can usually hide this underneath, and that works out really good. Also, I like to use this beaded, I don't know what you would call it, these beads as kind of like a garland too, and this will kind of really bring it out, making it look nice and Christmassy.